Hello, trading is closed on November 25th, 2016. Yesterday was my first call on the week. At the time I said that I thought we should trade a bit higher with a target of 2209 plus. I said it could have occurred either in the overnight session or today, after which I expected a reversal to take place. Well, the futures high was equivalent to that price in cash, and 2209 plus is this price right over here. We did break above it at the end of the day, and we'll talk about the consequences of that in just a minute. MEJT didn't really have any signals today. It did have a support resistance level, and that seemed to hold. The basic idea for the 2209, actually I had 2209.70 price, was based on Fibonacci relationships. We're over that by a small fraction. I don't think it really changes the pattern, particularly if we reverse right here. We now have a combo sell signal on the daily chart. Here's bar 13 that identifies the area of, not necessarily the price of a top, but it often is the top. We're still on a sequential sell signal on the weekly. Way back when we had a sell on the monthly. This goes back to 2014. We did have a drop, so you can't say it failed. It gave a drop, but it really usually gives you more than that. There is a stop on this. What you do is you take this height of the bar there and you add it to the top, and you get a stop based on closing prices. So on a closing price basis, this stop is interpreted loosely, but this is stretching it about as far as it can go. We have mixed signals here. And when that happens, the most common occurrence is we gap out of the day's range. What's positive is we gapped up and closed over all the intermediate highs. It happened on a Friday. Almost always that leads to a continuation of the advance on Monday. When it doesn't happen, it usually has very negative implications and leads to a big drop. What's not so good is we stopped right at the resistance level all day long, broke out as soon as all the big money players left, have a wall into the close, and the close right at the absolute high of the day. The implication is big money wasn't willing to go any higher than this, but as soon as they walked away from the table, the amateurs were. There's also a rule that when you have a long, narrow intraday consolidation, as it tends to be in the penultimate wave, that the move outside of it tends to be short and reversed quickly. So Monday's open should be interesting. I should add this time and this price based on someone else's work is an exact hit for a top two. Monday's open should be interesting, although stop losses on the DeMark stuff don't really come into play until closing. I think this is such a perfect pattern for a strong move down right from the open, that if we don't get a strong move down right from the open, I think the DeMark signals are in danger of falling apart. If this is a strong move right down from the open, it should be followed by a very strong impulsive move down, and this should be the end of wave gray B. If we don't see that right from the open, I think a lot of the reasoning falls apart, although the actual rules won't be triggered. I've got so much stuff for a top here, we shouldn't really go any higher if I'm reading this correctly. So Monday's open critical. I'm looking for a sharp move down, ideally under the low. Would be very nice if we hit this price, but I think that there's going to be some support perhaps just under this low, and that's today's call.